online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
Well, I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's my co-host of the show. Otherwise, I simply wouldn't have let him in. Are you all right?
Co-host?
Yeah, I
called you sidekick.
I called you a co-host while he was away. I noticed that. I was watching the DVD extras, and when Noel Fielding was here, goes my normal co-host, Matt Morgan ain't here. I watched that back. I made a mental note. Always refer to him simply as Oaf, Matt Morgan, rather than giving him these grandiose terms. Your hair looks nice.
Thank you.
Why?
Just because I've straightened it a bit.
Why have you straightened it a bit, do you suppose? Why have you doing a panicky housewife face? He's doing a panicky housewife face because he's got a secret engagement later. Mr. G is here. He's the poet laureate of the show and a more talented poet you'd never likely to meet. We was over in Dublin just a few days ago. Mr. G wowed the folks there with his performance, which could only be described as enlivening. Wild it was in Dublin, Matt, when I was there. Yeah.
I would have come, but I was in Prague.
Well, the people of Dublin missed you.
Well, the people of Prague loved me.
Really? Did they, Matt?
Not really, actually.
No, I don't suppose
I hadn't heard of the show over there.
No, it's not caught on at all in the former Eastern Bloc, and that's due to poor marketing from the BBC, I'd say.
Aaron, you were doing a racist voice?
Oh, yeah, sorry, weren't I? What about when I did that in the back of a cab once? Accidentally, we had an Irish cab driver once, and I, without thinking, goes, "Could you take us for a cup of coffee down at Starbucks?" Like that, and Matt wrote on his phone, like, you know when you write a text but you don't send the text, you just show the other person your phone. He went, "The cab driver is Irish." It said in a
typed it
condom.
in that voice.
It was in that voice. You absolute goon. What are you thinking?
Bit your fist. And go, oh no.
And I just did a variety. What ain't there, mon? Who's that gun? Oh, yeah, you know me, I just always do, I'm doing accents. I'm the accent man. Don't be offended, I'm doing everyone's accent.
Russell Brand.
Slash will be on the show later. Slash is coming up in the second hour. Slash, Matt really fancies him.
We've already interviewed Slash. Slash came in a little while ago. We chatted to him. He's ever such a lovely gentleman, really nice, handsome, brilliantly dressed. But what I won't do is become obsessed like Matt is. When he left, Matt went, I goes, "He's quite nice looking, isn't he?" I goes, "It's surprising that he wears all that stuff, like the glasses and the hair and the hat, because he's got quite a nice face." And went, "Yeah, his picture in his book is actually really handsome." Matt got really passionate about it, like he wanted to marry Slash. You like him a lot, don't you?
Yeah, but I respect him. And
what is the respect based on?
Because
your winky
of what he
juice.
achieved, and also just when I was a kid, his poster was on my wall.
Yeah,
you know
you've
what I
got to
mean?
respect that. You've got to respect a
He
poster
arrived when I put the blue tack on him.
Yeah. I had a Bros poster on my wall.
Well,
so
there you go, see?
Make that judgment.
That's the fundamental difference between us.
That's one of them. I wrote on it, but I sort of I defaced it. But
I bet you
still
made
put
yourself
it there.
Craig Logan.
In my
drummer.
mind, I was, so I could get close to the Bros twins. And I had them Grolsch bottle tops on my shoes. I was really into
While you were doing that, I had a leather jacket and I was smoking fags.
You probably weren't. You're a couple of years younger than me. You're probably still scared of that crow in your wall. You were all there snivelling little wretch, 7 years old or something. Certainly we'll be talking to James Whittaker. He's one of those royal experts who I'm sort of quite interested in. If you've not seen him on telly, he sounds a bit like this. I'm afraid I'm glad to die, I know. As I know.
What?
I'm a Brian expert. I
Who gave him the job?
I don't know. My impression's not very good, I'll be honest.
Sounds
But
like old fisherman.
she blows. It's not like that. I've misrepresented him. But I mean, there's a sort of an odd gargle to his voice.
Like Davros out of the Dalek.
Yeah.
Doctor! The Queen up now,
Zippy,
I don't know
what are you
that.
doing to this man?
Well,
He's a
look,
royal correspondent.
When he comes on, you'll know. That's all I can say, Matt.
Oh,
really.
great. Why don't you make an elephant in the room? You'd be all embarrassed.
Well, just listen to his voice, because we're going to talk to him, because I'm, of course, doing the Royal Variety performance. There's been a lot of phone calls between me and the producer of the Royal Variety performance, laying out protocols of what's acceptable and what's not.
What, you laying down protocols for the Queen?
Yeah, I said if
She can't look at me.
she better dress up nice as well. She looks a right bloody state in that recreation of her wedding day, the tart. What I want her to wear is a lovely basque, a peephole bra, and I want her to totter in there in stilettos and do a blow-off over the edge of the balcony.
Saying things like that is
Yeah.
the reason that there's been a lot of phone calls between you and the producers.
I know, it's good though, because I'm capable of behaving when I need to, like when I'm looking after my mate John Rogers' kids. I'm good as gold. I don't say anything weird, so I just go, "Oh, come on, Spider-Man." man, stuff like that, you know.
Don't say that to the Queen. Okay, all right, Madge. You Madge?
Hey, what, mate,
You read the boogie book yet? You're the only one who hasn't.
I tell you what, you come across as right sourpuss in it. You no, you don't, love. I'm messing about. You come across smashing. Go on, give us a cuddle.
BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
We've got to get through to Noel Gallagher. I've not spoken to him. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, but do you know why?
What? Is he
Something
all right?
happened. No, didn't you read about it?
No, of course not.
The
What happened?
stalker thing that came to Abbey Road.
Well, well, what's happening? Who's stalking
That
him?
sounds quite serious.
For Noel
Some
Gallagher?
bloke came there.
Who's
I think it was a
stalking him?
Greek bloke. Well, let me tell you. Greek bloke, right, turned up and said that he wrote all the lyrics to, the latest album and that Noel Gallagher had stolen them. Which
Did
is
he?
quite, he must be mad to own up to that.
Yeah, why would you make such a claim? Hey, you know them lyrics, right? I know all of them. Yeah, all right, mate, have it. You know, I'll just make them up on
No,
top.
but I think it's something we shouldn't joke about. 'Cause
Oh,
it's-
all right.
it's in the papers, I think it's
Oh,
quite
yeah, don't
serious.
do bad things in the papers, mate. Yeah.
Well, the old bill are involved.
All the police are involved. Don't get your hands dirty, you might get your collar felt, son. Yeah, careful, you might get a kick in the muff. Right, we've driven Dawkins away with idiocy now. Richard Dawkins was going to be on the show.
no, is that
Perhaps
'cause he
the
heard us?
foremost mind of our
Is that
time.
why he's left?
The evolutionary psychologist.
He's hung up because he thought, this was a silly show.
This is a lot of silly business. He just said about kicking the muff 10 seconds ago.
That's what did it. This is what you did to the man who was zippy.
I
He
know.
hung up.
He
You
could
asked
have
him
helped
about
us.
sex.
Every time people try and get near us, Matt, I'll kick them up the muff and send them scurrying away. Oh, not Richard Dawkins and Chomsky. That's two people now.
That was your Gordon Brown interview.
Oh, I touched him on the willy. It went all terribly wrong. No,
Well, he did some research for about 4 seconds.
actually, the reason I'm not interviewing Gordon Brown because it affects our revolutionary credentials. They said you can't show political bias, and I said, well, how about this for political bias? I think that all politicians should be lined up and shot in the street like dogs. They went, well, that's bias. And I
It's
went,
not
fair
bias,
enough then.
actually.
Oh, 'cause
The
it's all of
opposite.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Matt. In a way, I'm the ideal replacement for Jeremy Vine. So,
You shouldn't say that. No.
Oh, I shouldn't know, should I? I did, though, didn't I? There it was. It's out there in the stinking old, silly old circle-faced world. So, will Richard Dawkins never come back, do you think? Richard Dawkins, if you aren't listening, you're a right miserable old sod. If you are, I'd just like to say, there definitely is a Jesus! There definitely was a Mohammed! There definitely was a Buddha! And they've got magical powers like Power Rangers, and they're the only things that can save us! Let's definitely really worship things to the exclusion of all logic and rationale. Yeah, Richard Dawkins, get into Christmas time! Yeah!
The best bits.
Russell Brand.
Right, come on, let's do a record because we're blathering on.
Okay.
Right, well, we're going to... Loco in Acapulco, 4 tops. What? Sometimes when I'm in Acapulco, do you know what I feel? It's bloody loco. Here, I'm in Acapulco. I've gone loco.
I thought that was in there by mistake. Is that
No.
your choice?
That's my choice of the week. Going loco down in Acapulco if you stay too long. Yes, you'll be going loco down in Acapulco. The magic down there is so strong. So nice in Acapulco that you will go a bit mad. Right, now this next verse, I can look at Matt studying it like the little student boffin he once was.
Oh my God, it's really intense.
Don't start to develop admiration for the song, Matt, because your head will swell up. And Richard Branson will try and get in your underpants and sail you around the world. Feel the pressure, your back's against the wall. Love is gaining on you. You're just about to fall. You're afraid to love, afraid to take a
Sounds
chance.
like you chatting someone up.
What? Hold on, why?
Pressure, your back's against the wall. Love's gaining on you. You're afraid to love me.
My chat moves, the best chat moves that ever heard, aren't they, some of them?
No.
Hold on, mate. I chat people right up with my
Well, it
moves.
works.
Right, so what do you want? Jam on it, for God's sake. Once someone's chatted up all nice, that's it, the job's done.
You better hide your feelings, get out while you can. That's me piping up.
Russell Brand.
Now, without any further ado or hullabaloo, let's introduce perhaps one of the most eminent and finest minds of our time. It's
Hello.
Professor Richard... Not you, Matthew, you're not a bright young man, you are an art school dropout. It's Professor Richard Dawkins. Hello there.
Hello.
Sorry that we kept you waiting earlier on the
That's
show.
all right.
We are quite blundering and, in many ways, shambolic.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to apologise for that now. It's been a dear wish of mine, Professor, to speak to you for quite some time, mostly through the prism of my own self-obsession, on accounts of how your theories on evolutionary psychology would help me to understand the obsession of male sexuality and my inability to break habitual behaviour around the pursuit of sex.
Well, that's not a question I've had before, so go ahead.
Well, what it is, Professor, and even though you're forever banging the drum for, for us unravelling the myth of religion, I kind of think that in the secular age, the idea of salvation through love has replaced salvation through God. So,
I find that rather an attractive idea.
What, so salvation through love?
Yeah.
Explain, then, because I think it's equally unrealistic.
Well, at least it is real. At least there's something there, isn't there? It may not last forever, but it's wonderful while it lasts.
But do you not think, then, that God is a signifier, really, for oneness and truth and eternity that exists beyond our plane of understanding?
Well, it could be something like that, but if that's what you think, then there's no point praying to it, is there? Or asking it to forgive your sins, or asking it to listen to your prayers. It's got to be more like a person if you're going to do that. So I think that people are rather confused. Einstein certainly thought that God was just a kind of word for the wonders of the universe, that kind of thing.
So it's the personification of God that you object to?
Yes, right. I mean, you wouldn't bother to pray to Einstein's God, would you?
Well, hold on, but in a fashion, through Eastern ideologies, perhaps like through prayer and meditation, you could bring yourself into alignment with a pure force of energy. And if you call that God or Buddha or whatever you call it, it's sort of irrelevant, but still somehow good.
Yes, I mean, there could be something in the Oriental way of doing things, meditation and things. I wouldn't think it's anything supernatural, though. The brain is a wonderfully complicated thing, and if you practice certain techniques like meditation, you might have mental experiences, a bit like taking drugs. I mean,
yes.
it could be a bit like that. It doesn't mean that there's anything supernatural, though.
Well, I suppose my problem, Richard, is that by negating the power of the divine, we're left with a world that is unaspirational, and perhaps it becomes somehow acceptable for us not to try and connect and to not be beautiful and truthful.
Oh, I don't think that at all. I think that you can love poetry, you can love music, you can love art, you can love science without thinking there's anything supernatural.
Hey, Richard Dawkins, what do you think about the ideas of Rael and Eric von Daniken, them people that think that ancient scriptures are merely primitive people describing an advanced alien technology? Do you think that that's likely or possible? Do you think that life on Earth was possibly seeded by an extraterrestrial nation?
No.
Why? That's a really good one. I like that one.
No, I don't at all. I think that's... I mean, it's not that I don't think there are extraterrestrial civilizations. I think there probably are.
Well, that's quite
I think
good.
they're so far away we'll probably never meet them. And people might like to look at a magazine called The Skeptical Inquirer, which has...
They probably won't. They'll probably be too sceptical. Oh, I can't be bothered to get The Skeptical Inquirer.
You don't want to get The Skeptical Inquirer. Well, I recommend it. It's really rather fun to have all these things explained.
But I do sometimes sense divine power and connection. What is that?
Madness.
Well, I feel something a bit like that when I look up at the Milky Way, look up at the stars, or look down a microscope. I think the human brain is a very complex thing, and I think it responds emotionally to wonderful things, and the sheer size of the universe is wonderful, and so you probably do get a kind of upwelling of feeling.
I think there is something. I think there is a powerful divine force. I sense it, and I think also that it's the only thing that can save us. You know, I don't think we should accept blindly supernatural ideas, but I think the notion that there's things beyond our immediate comprehension, things that are magical, I find it exciting and entrancing.
Well, I find lots of things exciting and entrancing, but I don't think I would just say that I feel that something must be true. I mean, what you feel and what I feel is irrelevant. What matters is what there's evidence for.
But does it though, Richard? Because, why can't feelings be as good as thoughts? Oh, go on, give us a cuddle.
Well, But you can feel all sorts of things. People feel, people who are insane feel they're Napoleon. It's not a serious argument to say you feel something. There's got to be a better reason than that.
The God delusion, because that's been around for ages. Why do we have to say about that? We know about that already.
Well, the God delusion's been out about a year, and it's sold very well. It's sold more than 1.5 million copies now within 1 year.
It's not selling as much as the Bible, though, mate. The Bible's still out here. We're knocking out Bibles.
Most non-fiction, and the Bible, of course, is fiction.
Oh, no, people like it. They like a good story. Oh, come on, cheer up.
Russell Brand.
Should we continue our analysis of going loco down in Acapulco?
Yes, please.
We've not really reached anything resembling
skirted round the issues, really.
Yeah, come on. Right, you'll be pulling out your hair, drowning in despair with a whole lot of nothing on your way to nowhere. That's quite a good existential lament.
Too many negatives. Doesn't that make a positive?
Yes, I suppose it does in a mathematical sense, but not if a load of negative things kept happening to you. Say you were in a bedsit and then you found out that you tested positive for an awful blood disease, then you got kicked in the nuts, then you found out your dad had gone all homeless and he wanted to stay with you. You wouldn't go, well, actually, so many negative things happened, then I think this is brilliant fun now, and like ride your dad around like a mule.
I haven't got to that bit in the book yet.
When you realise what a fool you've been, you'll be haunted by her face, missing her warm embrace. This song don't make sense. It's just all over the place.
Lost love, man.
All it's about is someone's gone, Acapulco rhymes with loco.
But there's nothing wrong with that if you just...
No, well, Noel Gallagher,
rhymes.
who's on the show later, if he picks up his bloody phone...
Yeah, how many times he says slide and shine and stuff like
Slide away, shine it up your face, never know, on a beauty race, both today, gonna do it done, never didn't know now. Hello Russell, says Tom Carax, which is the weirdest word I've ever heard. I enjoyed your talk with Richard Dawkins. I particularly enjoy the way you spoke in your normal voice, not once varying from it. I thought you ought to know that he's a bit of a hypocrite, for as an ardent... he's a hypocrite for an ardent atheist. Before dinner at New College, Oxford University, where he's nominally a Don, though he actually spends very little time there, he's funded by the guy who invented Word. Okay. Well, that's God.
Microsoft Word.
Oh, right. I thought he meant in the beginning there was the Word and the Word was God. He has, on more than one occasion, said grace. I also thought he didn't answer your question on evolutionary psychology. Right, so supposed atheist Richard Dawkins has said grace, which is a religious thing.
Maybe he's got flixies when he says grace.
Flixies. I call them squitsies at my school.
Did you?
You call them flixies.
They were always flixies at my school.
Mind you, your school's for special kids, wasn't it?
Yours was, you told us that once.
Hey! Bright kids, special kids. That's why we was allowed to do painting all day, because we were so clever we didn't need maths.
Russell Brand.
Russell's regular item.
Gay! This week on my item gay, I'll be helping a gay lad.
Look
Here
at
it
you.
is. What?
Floundering.
I wasn't floundering.
You want to see Peter Sissons do that?
I've saw Peter Sissons recently and he's put on an awful lot of weight.
Oh, and I wonder why you care.
What do you mean?
I remember once.
What happened? Tell me.
You told me he was the only man you'd ever sleep with. Do you remember that? Years ago.
Well, I mean, Peter Sissons is the only man I'd ever sleep with.
You said that.
Look at you looking at me like, oh, and I wonder why
Oh,
you...
he's gone weight, has he?
Oh.
And why's that hurt you so much?
That's come home to roost, isn't it?
Well done, Sissons, you fatty.
Oh, great, there you go, margarine.
This close, mate.
I tell you, I could almost sniff it, Sissons. Yeah, well, you couldn't keep your hands off the pork pies and the pork, could you, Sissons?
Well, keep your hands off me.
Because I tell you, you've pushed me one bridge too far. Hello, here is the news. I'm sorry, you probably can't take me seriously anymore. But look, let's not have a go. I like people that are a bit chubby. Particularly if they're
Sissons.
if they're Sissons. What did I say? Like because of his authority, did I say? Yeah, I think I can remember saying it, and actually in quite an intellectual way saying, well, look, yeah, I would sleep with a man if it was like Peter Sissons and I felt he could look after me. Was it like that?
Oh, God, that's intelligent, is it? It's quite an intelligent way.
Actually, it was brilliant.
Peter Sissons gonna
this
look
might
after
win
me.
Dawkins over. Actually, if Richard, listen to this. I once said I'd like the idea of sleeping with Peter Sissons because he could clutch me up to his chest and I could put on a bonnet and Peter Sissons could feed me
They addressed Oxford with the whole thing. Everyone loved it.
I've been made a Dom. This is right anyway. We're on my new item, gay. So
Well, we found out that you're gay for Sissons.
turns out I am. Hello, Russell, Matt and Mr. G. I'd like to be in your item called Gay. My name is Lost Boy. I've never been with another gay before, but lately I've started to have these feelings for another man. I shall refer to him only as Dax Flame. I wonder if I should act on these feelings or should I just keep it to myself? What do you suggest? Thank you so much.
Always
Lost
the
Boy.
same
It's always
problem.
the same problem. Shall I just...
There's never like, anything like
What else could it be?
curtains should I get?
Yeah. What curtains should I get?
What have you
Peter
got?
Sissons. One's made out of like a sort of a chocolatey, velvety
Oh,
material.
you should get curtains, right, with a tie that hangs in the middle of the curtain rail,
Yeah.
like Sissons' tie. And when you pull the curtains close, it's like you're putting on his jacket. Right? I finished, Mr. Sissons.
Right, I hope you enjoyed that, Peter. Now, business is closed for the evening. News is this: you've hurt my feelings, you big pig. I'm sorry, I love Peter Sissons. And listen, let's not have a go. I don't like anyone having a go at anyone for anything. Certainly not people who's a bit chubby. Because
I'm not getting
Hey.
hung up on the chubby.
no, am I? Because I'm a bit hung up on the chubby in the sense that, what? Do you know what I mean?
You want to get hung up on the chubby?
I like it hung up on that chubby. We're really juvenile sometimes, Matthew, especially as we're so bloody clever. It's ridiculous.
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
You're listening to the best of Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2.
But I've just been handed a piece of paper. It says simply these words: Sissons is on the line. Peter Sissons, the authoritative voice of news and current affairs, and for me, a kind of
Sex symbol.
obelisk of sexuality. Let's see. Peter Sissons, is that your laugh?
It is my laugh, yes. I'm just laughing at being an object of sexuality.
An obelisk of sexuality, like a big golden monument.
And obelisks are made of stone, aren't they?
Oh, I suppose so. Perhaps you'd be a cold, indifferent lover.
Not to those who know me.
I suppose that's the best way to conduct your sex life. I wish I could say the same, Peter, but I tend to be incredibly generous even to people I've barely even met. That's just, one of my personal foibles. Well, thing is, I suppose I've found you very alluring.
Gosh, it's the first time that someone of your status has said that to me.
Well, it's because you've got a kind of authority.
Well, you either have it or you don't, I suppose. But I'm not the only one.
What happened once, Peter, is I saw you in a department store. I believe it was in Lakeside. This was as a teenager. Me as a teenager. You weren't there, looking for leather jackets. I was there, and I think it was Debenhams, possibly. Other stores are available. And you were, selecting out a suit. And I'm thinking, oh, that's Peter Sissons. And I think, that the image of you scorched so deeply into my retina that I've never really truly got over it.
Was it me or was it the suit?
The pair of you together were a pretty unstoppable force of a libidinous desire, if I may say. Right, let's ask some sensible questions. We've got Peter Sissons on the phone now. We spoke about fancying him. Why, my Matt Morgan, who's my co-host on this show, has just written the word Queen on a bit of paper and underlined it. What's
Ask
your
Peter
intention?
about the Queen, because he's probably met her as well.
Have you met... All right, have
That's
you...
not like,
Yeah, I have met the Queen.
I thought, for a minute, I thought that Matt was suggesting that either you or I were homosexual.
No one's ever called me that either. You've talked about nothing but erotica since we started to speak.
Since he was born.
My first word was "fwa." Yeah, okay. Well, all right then. Let's talk about something a bit more sensible then. All right. When you're reading the news, don't you just think, right? Well, what about this then? Yeah, I've never had this is a good, intelligent question. You know how Noam Chomsky says that the news agenda is set by the government and the forces of consumerism that control all of our minds.
Yeah.
Do you ever think when I'm reading the news, oh no, I'm just helping to manipulate people into a spellbound state where they're divorced from their spirituality and the possibility of freedom? All this news is filthy propaganda. It's not really true. Do you ever think that a bit?
No, that isn't what courses through my brain, actually. It usually is the autocue going to work. But there hasn't ever been a government in the sort of electronic age that hasn't wanted to control the media, that wanted to control television. They all try it, and it's a battle they all lose.
Do you think there can be a revolution, please, Peter Sissons?
No.
Why?
We don't have revolutions in this country.
We've not had one yet, have we? What about Cromwell? Wasn't that a bit of one?
Well, I suppose you're absolutely right. We've had our revolution. We had it 300 or 400 years ago, and we got all that out of our system without the sort of bloodshed that they had in other countries when they had their revolutions.
Their revolutions
Now
were bloody uncivilised, if you ask me. There's something special about us English. British?
Well, I think so. I think the British have got a lot to be proud of. I think it's one of the world's great nations, and
because of your voice, Peter, everything you say sounds like it's indisputable fact, right? So I bet you could really boss your wife about. Well, dear, I've decided that I'm going to conduct a series of affairs indiscriminately with the neighbours. All right, Peter, get your hands off me, please, Peter. You're breaking my heart. Let me wear your nightie.
you see, you're just judging me, taking me at face value, but you don't really know where I came from or much about my background. Yeah, I can tell you some things about my background which might surprise you.
Go on then, I'm getting turned on.
What was that bit? Guess who I was at primary school with?
Goebbels.
No, John Lennon.
Wow, were you? Really? You went to the same primary school as John Lennon?
And George Harrison.
Bloody hell.
And Jimmy Tarbuck.
Well, I met him when I was doing the Royal Variety performance. He was lovely.
And then when I went to grammar school, I was in the same school. I was in the same year as Paul McCartney.
What is this Beatles education system?
George Harrison.
Then I went to college with Ringo. Brian Epstein was making tea. Your school plays must have been good. Assembly. Okay, in Assembly. Hello, welcome to Assembly. I'm Peter Sissons. Coming up, we've got comedy from a young man called Jimmy Tarbuck, then a little skiffle band called The Quarrymen. I think they might be called the Beatles later. Here they go. Yeah. Must have been a laugh. Peter, it's been a very great privilege to speak to you on our show. Because, you know, before I thought of you as just some sort of brainless sex object. And now I realise that you're a man with incredible gravitas.
Well, I used to speak highly of you too.
There's no higher compliment than being a sex object, in my personal opinion. But thank you very much for giving us your time, Peter. It's been an absolute joy to talk to you.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Peter Sissons. I love you, Peter Sissons.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, everything sounds like news. I liked having Peter Sissons on the show, did you?
He's got a little hint of Hannibal Lecter to his voice.
He's gone now. We could have got him go, oh, I'd like some father beats. I wish you could say these things. Did I do a funny voice then?
Yes.
Oh, no! G's endorsing it. That weren't a funny voice.
You wheeled out the old Noam Chomsky.
Wheel out Noam Chomsky to make myself look clever. Wheel out Noam Chomsky.
Does sound a bit like him, doesn't he? Hello,
yes. Hello.
You don't know anything of my background.
My background, I was a young boy in Liverpool with dreams and Beatles.
I'm a pathological liar. I went to kindergarten with Mick Jagger.
As an older man, Ralph Fiennes and I played Conquerors. Clarice. I remember distinctly myself and Steve McQueen riding on a moped.
We lived in halls of residence with Public Enemy.
Me and Andy Warhol once went skateboarding.
Sissons.
Mr. Sissons! Mr. Sissons!
How's that program called? The Raccoons?
Mr. Sneer! Hey, Bert Raccoon! Bert Raccoon! Bert Raccoon! I like them voices.
Mr. Sneer!
Mr. Sneer! They've turned me on, them little pigs. They just wore a jumper and no pants on.
Turns you on.
So what, man? I got a lot of sexual energy. Right, let's listen to Turn a Different Corner in honour of Peter Sissons and the meeting of Lennon and McCartney that wouldn't have happened unless for Ivan Vaughan. Let's play that. What? Ivan Vaughan, he introduced
unless
them.
For Ivan, forsooth.
Peter Sissons! Seriously! I'll tell you what though, Matt, they sent a journalist round my mum's house and scared her. Like, I'm not suggesting we go and smash up old...
Didn't you put your mum's address in the book?
Of course I did. Teach her a lesson. Some months I wanted more pocket money than I actually received. There's no way I'm going to put up with that sort of rhubarb and that caliber. No, I didn't put my mum's address in the booking book. No, I don't think so, mate. God, that would be ever so... Oh, actually, I did put grey... I didn't put the number, though. Oh, yeah, that was unwise. Damn. But thing is because it's called Gray's End Close, right? So I thought that was indicative of a terminal address. Gray's End Close. Sort of sounds morbid, so I made some brilliantly witty reference to it, and as a consequence my poor mum's being hassled by a Daily Mail journalist. She works at the Daily Mail, loyal, not monkeys, revolutionaries is what we are. What we're going to do, remember, in a couple of years I'm going to give away all my money, formulate a charity, we're going to buy an island or something, live there on a commune.
Who's we? Not me and you, and I'm not wearing that outfit.
You'll wear this costume, young man, or we'll not take those braces off.
That's what village idiots used to wear. Those smocks.
Oh yeah, when Ronnie Barker
Wee
played
Willy
the village-
Winky's jumper.
This schmuck is not a village idiot costume. Do I look like a village idiot? Yeah, Gene nodded then. Gene.
A village idiot who's broken into an aristocrat's home and stolen some stuff and then ran off giggling.
My lord, I found my way to your lingerie drawer. We've took your wife's bra. Yeah, well, I think I look very sexy. Anyway, this person that I'd like you to not attack, because
Just
remember, the
ignore her.
revolution is loyal. I know it's a silly paper. I know it is. I know it's a paper for people that, you know, don't agree with forward thinking. But anyway, she's like, it's only the fact that they sent a journalist around my mum's house and made my mum cry. Right, listen to the bit. Mrs. Brand certainly
How did they make her cry? By reading parts of your book to her?
No, just by telling
You're aware your son's done this?
Oh,
no.
What's wrong with him?
They probably consoled her.
No, but they didn't console her. Listen to this bit. At times, Brand breaks into the chaotic narrative to exclaim just how awful he is. He seems terribly proud of what he has done. His tone throughout is one of simple-minded delight in showing off in his own bad behaviour. More than once, Brand has spoken about dreading what his mother, the most important woman in my life, that's me quoting me, will make of the story. Shown the content, she put her hand over her mouth, saying repeatedly, "Oh my God, what has he done?" That's because they sort of ran up to the front door, kicked on it and went, "Look at that! Look at that!" to her. She went, she was frightened, the poor woman. Right, now this was written by Alison Boshoff. Boshoff?
Boshoff?
Yeah, Noshoff, more like it. Right, listen to the bit at the beginning. She said, yeah, really coating me off. He's fawned on by his Radio 2 bosses, and his autobiography's been given star literary billing by The Guardian. But open the covers and Russell Brand emerges as sleazy, sad, and consumed by self-obsession. Well, I can't query with that.
She's read it then, at least.
No, but that's fair. It's a good, fair criticism there by Boshoff. Boshoff seems like she's been paid by us. A hero for our times, it says, but that doesn't sound ironic. Convinced he is irresistible, Russell Brand is holding court among 400 fans at a signing event at Waterstone's bookshop on Wednesday night. The comedian is very much in his element, posing for pictures, cracking stupid jokes, and signing countless copies.
Comedian?
Yeah, but childishly finding humour in everyday life.
That's good for your fans.
Yeah. Posing for pictures, signing countless copies of his autobiography, because there were so many. That's good also. The publishers even have to turn people away, because it's so popular and successful.
Russell Brand.
Blah, blah, blah. His lovers paint a rather different picture, because she's saying that I reckon I'm a sexy wild man, which Matt, you've known me quite a while. Have I ever claimed to be a sexy wild man?
Not in those words.
Why? What have I claimed? Oh, yeah, a sex shaman, I've claimed to be. Like that.
You told me you think you're extremely good in bed.
I do think I'm good. I can create magic. That's why. Like, only if the other person is as well. You can't sort of just go up to a table and, like, have it off with that. It needs to... Sex takes two, or possibly more, people all in tune with each other. You can't just... It's not like an Olympic sport, is it? You can't just be good at it on your own, I don't think. Like, you know,
What's this about
live for
you
Christie.
doing it and watching yourself in mirrors?
Well, I'm just like, have a look in the mirror.
I'm really good at sex, actually, because I watch myself in the mirror.
And it's been brilliant. That's how I know I'm a sensitive lover, because I look so sensitive when I'm staring past my sexual partner.
Combing my hair in the mirror. The woman had left after 10 minutes, but I carried on.
She didn't seem to mind. Well, she was in a taxi by this time, but I combed my hair into a very neat centre parting. I looked beautiful, like a P.G. Wodehouse character. His lovers paint a rather different picture, and one which is considerably less glamorous. Without exception, they describe him as an oddball loner who pads around his Hampstead flat in a white dressing gown and slippers, talking only to his cat Morrissey. That's the only thing that's there.
God.
It was,
How do they get this information?
Well, I do that, don't I?
I know.
But I love that cat, and everyone talks to their cat. You can't just ignore him, that's ignorant.
Pads around.
And I don't pad. Do I pad around?
Yeah.
What do you mean pad? Describe that bit further then.
It sounds like, well, pad to me means that you've got slippers on.
Yeah.
And you just sort of don't want to commit fully to your walk.
To your next
so just
step.
Sort of slide a little bit.
Plopping along, meandering.
Hello, Morrissey.
I stride purposefully round my house like a
And what's wrong with
pirate
a man?
king.
That's like going, oh, he's really loud and arrogant and horrible, and he's all quiet at home and talks to his cat.
What's that? That's not painting a picture of an arrogant, piratical sex maniac walking round in a dressing gown and slippers. Then, listen to this. He only has a few friends. I got the impression he didn't like being on his own. He would talk to his cat like it was a real person. But a cat's not a pretend person, at any rate. Like real
How are you
person
meant
is
to talk to
tautologist.
it? If you really, you shouldn't talk to a cat at all.
You shouldn't.
Well, no, I mean, you know, doesn't. If you're going to talk to a cat, you can't talk to it as it's a cat. Then you are mad.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
got to talk to it like it's a little person.
Yeah, right. Well, to not talk to it in a cat language, because that is
Yeah,
bad.
imagine that. He meowed at his cat and believed that it understood him.
I understand its cat language, you know. And then, what it says here, another lover, student Hannah Gregory Soskin, said that Brand would say to Morrissey, have you had a nice night? Have you found any mice? I don't talk to you like that, like I'm a fairy tale wizard, chatting to him.
How's school, Morrissey?
Okay, well, I've heard some very negative reports back from Hogwarts, and if this continues, you can expect a kick in the nuts, my lad. She added that he slept in a gum shield to prevent him from grinding his teeth. That's not a gum shield, that was my teeth
That
aligners.
sounds like you sleep curled up in a huge gum shield.
In case Frank Bruno comes! if it protects the gums, why can't it protect my entire body? When she contacted him after their encounter, he sent her a text saying, I don't remember you, can you send a photo? Well, I might have done, but that's a very good system for remembering folk. I would only do that to make sure there's no embarrassing incidents. And anyway, I think I'm 25 days celibate now. Blah, blah,
You
blah.
think you are? Why? Would you sleepwalk or something?
Well, sometimes I'll make some crazy decisions in the land of Nod.
BBC Radio 2.
I'm performing in front of Her Majesty the Queen of England and Prince Philip.
Oh, dear.
Is it going to be a mistake to do this?
I don't know what you're going to do. Not your material.
I don't know what to say. Perhaps some of my views. How about that?
No.
No
You'll
views.
say something daft about revolution.
I was going to say something daft about revolution, as a matter of fact.
What will you say? I bet you say some sort of John Lennon-esque comment about...
Hey, jangle your jewellery, jangle your tiaras.
Hello, miss. I recognise you off our money. You'll do something like that, won't you?
I won't recognise your fan money. What might I do? I might say so. I was thinking of having a bit of a flirt with her. That'd be a good story.
No.
Brand dates the Queen. Imagine I pulled
Look
her.
at you big head. I might
What?
flirt with her, and then your next thought is, she'll go out with me.
Well, obviously, she's going to leap all over that opportunity.
Dates the Queen. You'll be in trouble. Remember when the Australian Prime Minister touched her bum?
How dare he? He was put his arm around. He didn't touch her bum. He put his arm around her shoulder. Look at you, you're worse than Nosh off, Bosh off. Do you remember that? When the Australian Prime Minister done Her Majesty over a balcony? He did nothing of the sort. He put his arm around her, which was a disgrace. Queen of England.
Don't you go near her.
I won't.
They won't let you meet
Yeah,
her.
I'd treat her right. If I find out that Prince Philip ain't treating her correctly and nobly, I will intervene in that
Imagine
marriage.
you just, like, when she comes and shakes your hand, just throttle her. Well, imagine you did.
I know, that's really weird when you think, oh my God, I could just do
actually
that now.
And
She's
then
just
that'll be
there,
the
that's
biggest
Queen.
story ever.
I suddenly got around and went, come here, you!
What are you thinking of? And then
Oh, it's Queen
and immediately go, sorry.
Look, this won't affect my knighthood, will it? I'm so sorry, Mum. I don't know what I was thinking. Come on, give us a cuddle. Get off her. All sorts of people would just come on and jiu-jitsu you in the windpipe if you did anything like that to the
I
Queen.
wonder what would happen, though.
You'd
'cause
beat you up.
Do you think you'd, like, die in an accident?
That
sound
sounded a
bad,
bit
man.
weird. Don't say Diana accident.
Die in an accident.
Well, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, no, I would. I don't know what would happen.
Careful.
Steady. I love Her Majesty the Queen. I'll say that for you. Every time I see her on some money, I think, oh, I might keep hold of that.
What's her position in the revolution?
I'm afraid, well,
Still Queen?
I don't think she's allowed to be the Queen no more, because everyone's... Well, she can be a sort of a Queen, but she's not allowed to have more money than anyone else. Everyone's got to be equal after
So
the
you're a
revolution.
royalist?
I don't mind it, but I just think that everyone has to... having a monarchy is against my principles of absolute egalitarianism, but it's good to have totemic figures.
Although I said about throttling, all that stuff, I think she does a fantastic job.
Oh, Matt, your OBE's well safe. This is from someone calling themselves Russ fan. I think I'm pretty safe reading this out. If their whole identity is built around liking me, thank you. I think it's sad that you should write such terrible things. Oh, look, they've sent a copy of a letter they're writing into Alison Boshoff. Let's have a look. I think it's sad that you should write such terrible thing about Russ in your column and harass his mum when Russ is such a kind, caring man who has been to hell and back and rises like a phoenix from the ashes. So please give up your bitterness and engage in some counselling to help turn yourself around and see the light of love. Russ wants to show love to everyone, so I will send you actual love to show that Russ fans are better people than you give us credit for. Please stop and consider what you are saying before you rip into Russ for no reasons. It takes courage to write a book such as Russ's Bookie Wook, where he faces his demons and slays them. Is now moving on. I wish you actual love and blessings. Well done, Russ fan. Not my words, but the unbiased views of Russ Fan 101. Thank you, Russ Fan, and all of you on the Russell Brand fan site forum.
And you
I
turned
adore
up with
you.
that written down. in your hand.
Oh, look at this. Oh, bosh off. Yeah, no, that's from a genuine, lovely
That's quite a
fan, thank
mature
you.
reply.
Very mature,
response.
because it's loving and decent. Much more mature than my puerile attacks on the journalist simply doing her job.
Do you reckon the editor says, "We want a hatchet job on Brad's book. Who's going to write? Bosh off, you do it." And she goes, "Oh, but I don't really care either way."
I quite liked dance floor trout.
Yeah.
No, bosh off. Go against your instincts.
Or do you think she goes, "I read that book's rubbish. I've written this. Print it if you want. If not, don't nail it to his door."
Kick his mum's back door in it in any way you see fit and stuff this story out it.
Russell Brand.
We're coming from the Isle of Wight. I'm here, of course, with my co-host, Matt Morgan. Hello there, Matt.
Hello, Russell.
Just started the show again.
I know.
I forgot we've been on.
It's a recap.
Was that a recap?
It was a recap until you said hello again.
Recap!
The best bits.
Russell Brand.
After the brilliant debate and intelligent conversation that preceded the news, Matthew Morgan,
Don't
our
tell
beloved
people that.
Matthew Morgan, went, "Richard Dawkins, I hope an effing UFO comes down and shoot him. I love it." That's what Matt said.
I didn't say that. I did say that.
I'd love it if a UFO come down and shoot him. Yeah,
Shot him. Surely, I didn't go, and shoot him.
and shoot him. You didn't even know which tense to use.
Right in his tallywhacker.
If it got him in a tallywhacker, he wouldn't be so quick to laugh at E.T. Part 2, would he? You big soppy sausage, you.
Well, there you try and be all clever. Is it also not true? Enough a big word. Wait, I can't think of it.
Professor, hold on a second. If I could just look up another word, 1 second.
I thought I was very polite.
Richard, monotheistic. Yes, I've said it.
There, I know what it means, but I think it's to do with fried tuck, isn't it? Fry a tuck, fry a
Careful
tuck.
how you say that.
You got a little bald head, you're pushing your luck. Fry a tuck, fry a tuck. Get out one your boobies and I'll give it a suck. Fry a tuck, fry a tuck. Get a little goose, then get a duck. Fry a tuck,
Keep going.
fry a tuck. I'd like to get a donkey and squeeze out its muck. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
How have you got that uncanny ability to make up songs?
I don't know what.
Or
that
do you
is.
prepare them for months?
I've read them for months. I rehearse them at churches, bother people with my nonsense. When I can talk,
Losing my mind.
I think it started. Ooby-dooby-doo.
It's happening again.
On account of me doing the Royal Variety performance quite soon, I've received this email. It's to us all here, Russell, Matt and G, and even crazy insomniac Nick is credited here, even though Noel Fielding said that when he came here, he saw Nick Philps, a self-proclaimed insomniac, all asleep like a little white kitten.
Really?
Exactly. He's
I
a
reckon
liar.
he sleeps and then just wakes up but doesn't realise he's slept.
Hold on a minute, I'm still
Nothing
awake.
like with no sleep. And memory loss.
8 hours gone, and all for nothing. What's the point? Back into the gym jams. This is from Rupert, age 24. He's said he's gay. And so there he's just put that there. He says, look at the end of it. He goes, love Rupert, age 24, gay. London. Nice work, Rupert. I was thoroughly amused by your discussion of what you might like to do to the Queen when you meet her at the Royal Variety. What about greeting her with no trousers or pants? Or giving her a copy of your bookie book, signed, obviously, or just giving her a little lick on the cheek? All interesting suggestions, Rupert, but likely to lead to me getting a little spell in the tower. That is why we've got James Whittaker on the phone. He is an expert on royal things, and I've known of him for a very long while, and he seems to be an adorable gentleman. James, are you there?
You know, I've never been called adorable in my life, but I suppose it's the first time, and I take it as a compliment.
Well, in my view, you've been in the wrong company, James. If those royals who you've spent so much time with haven't seen fit to call you adorable, it is a distinct lack of manners and foresight.
Yeah, I've been reporting on the royal family since 1968, so it's surely nearly 40 years.
Wow. James, could you tell me, during those 40 years, what have been the most interesting events that you have reported on?
Without question, the relationship, the romance, God, I wonder whether it was a romance, the build-up between Charles and Diana when they were heading towards marriage. It was hectic. And then, of course, the tours I did with them.
Crazy
in Italy,
days.
The Grand Tour of Italy. I think it was 86 for 2.5 weeks. We were in Australia, New Zealand, right at the beginning, soon after they got married in 83. We were there 6.5 weeks. I've been everywhere in the world worth visiting, to be honest.
James, we got Slash on the show a little bit later, chronologically, but not actually. And he went on tour, of course, with Guns N' Roses. Was your tours with the Royals, did they have the kind of hedonism that one might expect from a tour of a late 80s rock band?
It was different, but it was pretty fancy, I can tell you.
Why?
I mean, we saw the best things on earth laid on. They weren't laid on for me, but they were laid on for...
They should have been laid on for you.
Wales and the Queen. I've done a few tours with the Queen. And you stand there and you get some pretty fancy things happening. For example, let me tell you one which actually didn't involve Diana. What was it? It was the first big tour I did, which was 1976, I think it was, and Prince Charles went to Ghana. And out of the blue, we didn't know it was going to happen, they laid on a Durbar, D-U-R-B-A-R. It's a sort of an Indian thing, really, where it's a gathering of chieftains and clans to come and say and pay respect to their leader, whom they regarded as Prince Charles in those days. And people walked from all parts of Ghana for about a week, week and a half to this fantastic gathering there. There must have been 1.5 million people, and all the chieftains of the various tribes were brought in on solid gold daises. There will never be a gathering that big again, ever in history.
James, you've seen some wonderful things in your time, be it some chieftains carried on a gold carriage thing or waiting in the Sistine Chapel. Now, what I'm most intrigued about, personally, is I myself am to do the Royal Variety performance soon in about...
I know, it's an honour.
It feels like a very great honour to perform before Her Majesty, but, James, what will it... what sort of protocols must I observe?
The protocol is this. Tell me, are you looking forward to that?
I'm very much. That's the only reason I'm doing it, is because I want to meet Her Majesty the Queen.
You will meet her, and she will be extremely gracious. It's not her favourite evening of the year is to attend the Variety performance, but you won't know that, because she will do it beautifully. Now, what you do is, when you go down the line, you will look at her, and as you come, she will put her hand out. You take it. Do not bow from the waist, Russell. Bow from the neck.
From the neck.
And you say, just Your Majesty.
Just say Your Majesty.
Just Your Majesty.
James, what if I want to
if she starts talking to you, and she may well do, you don't keep saying Your Majesty.
What do I say?
You call her
Your
then
Majesty, Your Majesty, Your Majesty.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
It's ma'am as in jam, not ma'am as in charm.
Why ma'am as in jam, not ma'am as in charm?
Because when you think about it, it is short for madam, isn't it? You don't say mordom, it's madam, so it's ma'am.
Hey, madam, give us a kiss. James, what if I want to do something to get extra special attention from the Queen? You know, I want to stand out.
I tell you what, however up front you are and how clever you think you are...
Quite clever, out of 10.
I'm sure you've got lots of balls, I don't doubt it.
Just got two, but they are enormous.
Her very presence will prevent you from doing it.
Honestly?
If you then
is she charismatic?
Think, well, I'm going to do it to prove a point.
No, but don't upset her. I love her.
You
James.
will feel the fool, not her.
James.
Can I just tell you something else?
Go on in.
If you then step out of line and you hear her say this to you, you're in deep trouble.
What is it?
She will say, how very amusing, and she will then rapidly move on. You will know that you've pissed her off at that stage.
James, your language has been worse than Noel Gallagher's on this show.
Well, you know, this is the way it is. You're not going to do it because I think you have respect for
I do have respect for Her Majesty, but I want special attention. You know, like the relationship...
Don't call her Your Royal Highness, you're not doing so. But lots of people get flustered, and in fact, it's very funny. I've seen lots of people meeting the Queen, Russell, men who have been so thrown, they've curtsied for.
Men curtsying, you won't get that from me, mate.
Quite amusing.
Do you mean that how she means it, like it's not amusing, or do you mean it actually is amusing?
No, I mean it's amusing for us to watch. And I'll tell you what, if you were to do that, if you were to curtsy, and it wouldn't be that extraordinary, you'd feel a bit of banana afterwards and everybody would take the mickey out of you, she will not laugh at that. She will behave utterly professionally, and you wouldn't know it. It's just your pals afterwards will go tee-hee-hee.
Is there nothing I can do to endear myself to her like Essex did Queen Elizabeth I?
You really want to get close up and personal, don't you?
Yes, I do.
No, if you're just one thing you can do is if she is talking to you and the conversation gets stuck just for a second, it's absolute codswallop to say, oh, you mustn't speak to her unless she speaks to you first. That's nonsense. She is desperate for other people to speak to her because she has to make all the game. And if you get stuck, do you know anything about horses or dogs at all, Russell?
Yes, loads of things. Horses, Mr. Ed, Sugar, loads. I've got loads of things to do.
Brilliant. Bring horses up and then you'll talk to her for 10 minutes.
Oh, brilliant,
she loves dogs too. Remember this, she much prefers dogs and horses to human beings.
Brilliant. Okay, that might affect my costume choices. James, you've been fantastic.
But I'll tell you what, you will be enchanted. She is a nice face. She doesn't smile a lot. That's not because she's dull or grizzly. It's because it was a lady in waiting, I know, 30 years ago, said to me, because I said, why does she not smile very much? And apparently the Queen says, look, if I go around grinning and smiling all the time, I just look stupid, and therefore it's more sensible and practical to keep a fairly solemn expression. Now, if you then meet Prince Philip, who'll be following her, and you say something crass, I'll tell you what, you'll get an earful from him.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one to watch out for.
Right, I'm going to watch him. I'll watch him. I won't make no mistakes.
He's very acid-tongued.
He is a bit
acid-tongued. Don't say anything silly to him.
I won't, James. James, what we're going to do, would you mind if we call you after the event and let you know how it went?
Well, I hope I'll have a report at the time. I might even be there, and I will be watching.
I hope so.
I'd be absolutely delighted to hear.
James?
And I'll tell you what, you'll be bowled over because she is a decent, good lady.
No, I can't wait to meet her, James, and I think next time that we talk, you will be addressing me as Sir Russell. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Thanks
I
for your
hope
time,
that's
James.
the case. Even an OBE would be all right. You know what that stands for?
Go on.
Other buggers' efforts.
Thank you very much, James.
Is mate.
James, thank you for your time. Take care, James Wicker.
It's a pleasure. Good luck and enjoy yourself, you will.
Thank you, James. There he goes, old James Wicker. See, he has got an interesting voice, hasn't he?
He's amazing.
You did it.
He speaks like he's got his eyes closed and something in his eyes. He's going, I just got something in my eyes.
I've come out of the shower.
It doesn't go like that. It's weird, though.
He's got his sort of barks at you. I like the way he talks, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I think I've got it pretty straight. I call her Mammy Pajammy. I go straight up to her. I grab her by a boob tube.
Neigh like a horse.
Woo! Hey, Jammy! What's going on? Who's that guy with you, the old sourpuss? Boop, boop, pin, pin! Give us a cuddle. I've just done a dirty curtsy. And here we are, love. Here, can I have my knighthood? It stands for up your bugger. Bye! Arise, Sir Russell.
BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
Later on, guess who's coming in here? Chrissy Hind out of the Pretenders coming in here.
Has she agreed to do karaoke?
Well, no.
You have to check that with a record company.
I ain't checking nothing with a record company. I bumped into Chrissy Hind in a vegetarian restaurant that I frequent, and she goes, oh, hello, started chatting to her. She's nice. She's sort of sexy, actually, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
I liked her.
So what, you're going to sing Islands in the Stream?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I will. It'll be a version of it. If you can imagine Islands in the Streams. Much slower. Asthmatic version of Islands in the Stream.
Russell Brand.
You're listening to Russell Brand's Best Bits on BBC Radio 2.
we're actually using the studios of Isle of Wight Radio, right? So at some point we are going to go in. What's going to happen, Matt? I'm going into an Isle of Wight radio show.
Well, there's
to
a
be
show
interviewed.
going on, being done here, a Soul Show, from 10 o'clock
Soul
onwards.
Show.
I think you should go in there, and then we can switch to their output.
And we'll be listening. So people will be listening to the Russell Brand show live on BBC Radio 2, but they'll get the output of Isle of Wight Radio.
But I reckon legally,
I'm a guest.
You're a guest.
I'll be a guest, so I can
We're
be really
just putting the
responsible.
output. So you could pretty much say anything.
I can say what I like.
Racist,
lot of
inflammatory.
my incendiary views on race. This is the platform I've been waiting for. Some of my pretty bonkers views are going to come out. I've got no bonkers views on race.
Russell Brand.
Oh, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe... Are we on air?
I don't think.
Are you getting this? Are the bits
Hello, I'm Russell Brand. We're in a mystery location with Alex Dyke. Alex, do some output. This is your show.
Oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. Russell Brand has just joined me on the Alex Dyke Soul Show. Big star in the studio, and just as we were going to go on air, someone flicked a switch and it all went... which is a bit like my career.
I think your career's going to go from strength to strength, Alex, because, to tell you the truth, I've been watching you through the window from where I've been doing my show. I've never seen broadcasting like it, and I've seen some of the best. I've seen Wogan, he broadcasts with his top off. I've seen Chris Evans, he does a lot of things with his trousers down. The pair of them, they're like a yin and yang, Wogan, and the pair of them. So is everything's working now on your radio show?
We're on air, are we? So the Alex Dyke Soul Show's on air. Of course, the BBC never goes off the air, does it?
Of course it doesn't. That's part of our duty. Now, I'm just a guest on your show, innit? So I've not got no real obligations. So I'd like to use this as a platform to express some of my new views.
Listen.
Mate, David Icke!
No.
Mate, Icke told me so!
I like David Icke, but he scares me with all the
He's
stuff
over
he
there. I
says.
can see him. He's still in our studio. Hold on a minute. There's just a big 12-foot lizard. He's transformed. The whole thing was a coup. We trusted you, Icke. We trusted you.
Do you like soul music?
There's nothing I like more, Alex Dyke, than a bit of soul of an evening. I'll settle down, I'll listen to a bit of Otis Redding, then I'll just fall asleep again. I like soul music, of course I do. Motown, that'd fall under the general banner of soul.
What
I like it.
What CDs? What soul CD? Have you got any soul CDs in your car?
I don't have CDs anymore, Grandad. This is the age of the download. We're the #1 podcast in the country. I don't own a CD. If I saw a CD, I'd smash it up as being an antiquated object from the past. All this output's going out on my Radio 2 show, you know, Alex.
Yeah, I've never had such a big audience,
It's
Russell.
nice, isn't it? All our Radio 2 people are listening now, because I've come over here, I've scarpered over here in a mystery location, because we can't tell people on your radio show where we are, can we?
No, because if we do, then people will come to the studio and probably
I'll
shoot me.
not tell anyone. White, you can't admit to that. I'll never admit where David Icke lived. Why can't you tell people where you are?
Because it's a mystery. If I told people, you know what happened to that Radio 1 DJ Tim Westwood? Someone shot him.
Tim Westwood is a big friend of mine. Tim Westwood, this is going out for you. Whee! I like being a guest here. Look at my boobs. You know,
for God's
I'm
sake.
knocking about. This is your radio show. Control your guests, Alex Dyke. For God's sake, listen.
No. Listen, you are not as dangerous as David Icke.
No?
Not yet, but I don't know. You're getting there.
I
don't want to
you
tempt
to be
you.
a filthy lizard man. How about that for a bit of risky radio? Alex Dyke, I've got to go back my radio show now. People listening to me on Radio 2, this is what the revolution will be like. I'll take over all radio stations. It'll be brilliant. I mean, you know, I'm just a guest, but that's why I've been so cheeky and saucy. I'm going to dash back over there to the Radio 2 listeners. Alex, I've enjoyed being on your show enormously. You're a very fine gentleman. You've been complimentary and flattering. And if there weren't certain broadcasting laws, I would kiss you so hard and not on the mouth.
Oh, that would make my daughter's night. Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Russell Brand, everybody.
Russell Brand.
So, yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't I naughty on that show?
God.
What, Matthew?
It's worse having you as a guest, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's no restraint.
Poor man.
He was lovely, actually.
Why can't he admit where he is, though?
He can't admit he's on the Isle of Wight for some reason. I think it's because he's a tax exile and a known pervert. Okay, so earlier on, as we've been saying, we talked to Slash, or rather I spoke to Slash, while Matt snivelled round at his feet.
Curtsied.
Matt curtsied girlishly. When you meet Slash, don't look him in the eye or try and touch his ass. You'll embarrass Slash. Matt broke every protocol in the book when meeting Slash. He tried to borrow his top hat. There will be a few photographs on the website of me standing next to Slash, very much an equal, a respected peer of Slash, and Matt like a slithering, sniffling little wretch. You've got that look on your face in the picture next to Slash.
It's so unfair.
You look like sort of bored look of moon-faced indifference, staring off all baffled. It's really funny. Okay, so let's have a little listen to that interview now. This is a go when me, Matt and G met Slash. Here's how it Guns N' Roses.
BBC Radio 2. Russell Brand.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Russell Brand Show. Actual Slash. Hello, Slash.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, mate.
What's happening?
You all right there?
Yeah, I'm just sorting it out.
You look bloody fantastic, if I can say so. I'm a heterosexual man,
I've
but...
been wearing the same clothes for... Well, no, I changed my shirt, but my bag was lost for a little bit there, so I've been wearing these pants for 3 days.
Really? Yeah, you're carrying it off.
Yeah.
You know,
they look better after a couple of days, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose like after a while they start to form to the shape of your legs. There doesn't seem... There's certainly no hygiene problem at all. You seem fantastic. And I bet... You know, judging from your autobiography, Matt's read it. I've only read a bit that was serialised in an English newspaper. But I imagine wearing the same clothes for a few days is not a massive problem for you.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah. On accounts of, I suppose, like the horrors of addiction, sometimes you will just leave on the same clobber for maybe even a month.
It could be a while, yeah?
Yeah. Because, like, it goes out the window a bit, the personal hygiene while on drugs.
Everything goes out the window. That's the problem with it.
Manners, that goes out the window.
Yeah.
Human kindness.
Just observing anything other than what you happen to be hooked on.
Yeah. That's right, isn't it, with the old drugs? You know, that you pretty much soon prioritise drugs above all else. Nothing else really matters. Matt, who's a massive fan of Guns N' Roses, and you in particular, said that one of his favourite bits of your biography was, like, you used to see little imps running around your legs. Could you tell us a bit about that, please, Slash?
Oh, it was just... It's just a hallucinatory thing, you know? And I have to admit, I sort of enjoyed it. But it got the best of me at one point, and I sort of got out of hand, and I had to brush up with the law over it.
Well, hold on. Why? First of all, you liked the imps. You thought, I quite like having these imps.
Well, it got out of control, though. You know, I'd done it. I'd been through that before, and it wasn't too big of a deal. It was sort of fascinating, actually. But then there was one time where I just took it too far, and I actually thought they were trying to attack me, and I actually attempted to flee from them, and I was fleeing from nothing.
We're fleeing from nothing. How do you know when you've got away?
And I was in a resort hotel with absolutely no clothes on, and destroyed my room trying to get out of my hotel room, and then ended up on the resort grounds, running through there, and I managed to go into some room that a maid was cleaning and run the maid over in my haste, and she freaked out, and it was just a huge scene.
It's good to be able to run over a person without a car. To be able to run over a person.
But she pressed charges of battery. And,
oh, did she?
Yeah, or something like that.
That's a bit ungrateful. You'd have thought she'd be pleased with the anecdote.
Freaked her out. This long-haired naked guy coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that can't be easy if we're just trying to clean a room. With me, I've never had proper good hallucinations on drugs. I've always been more things just moving around a little bit. I was a bit of a heroin and crack addict myself, and I didn't have much luck with the hallucinations. It was
it was. You know what it was from? It was from shooting coke.
Right, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll produce the cloaked imps. They'll come out of the woodwork once you start mainlining Charlie. Yeah. They'll turn up. Oh, well, it's lovely to have you back and on the level and everything. Because we don't use drugs now, no?
I haven't in a while.
Oh, congratulations. How long?
It's been 15 months.
Oh, well done, mate. Wow. Oh, nice one. What I wanted to know is, you know, in the music industry, isn't there a bit of a vested interest in keeping, this is Matt's theory, in keeping musicians all doped up and addicted so that you can be manipulated?
Yeah, I think that is a reality, especially in the 70s. You used to use drugs to keep people from realizing what was going on around them, and also keep them working.
Yeah.
You know, I think Aerosmith was a great example of that back in the day. Yeah. Oh, cheers.
It's a nice cup of tea being brought in. Slash, there you go. That's more like it. Cup of good old English tea.
Actually,
we put some heroin in it.
I think it is coffee. No, it's got Jack Daniels.
Because otherwise you might not see any
That's how I used to do my coffee. Though.
Really? Bit of Jack Daniels. Why not? Other whiskies are available. Let's let Matt ask you a question, because you're his proper hero and everything.
Right.
Okay. Do you reckon Axel's read your book yet?
Oh, I know he's read it cover to cover at least a half dozen times.
Really?
Because make someone else read it first.
That's the way he is.
He comes out all right with it.
I didn't have any reason to say anything negative about Axel. I talked about some negative issues or some factual stuff that actually happened, some events that went down, but I didn't attack his character because there's no reason for me to. I think everybody wanted me to, just to see what dirt I would, but I wanted the book to be as honest and I also wanted to be an optimistic book as opposed to just, a negative dirt book.
Slash burly people are coming here to take you away from us. They'll probably fill you up with booze to keep you on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Slash, for coming in.
All right, cheers.
Russell Brand.
Slash! He's out, Guns N' Roses. Are we still recording? Well, there goes Slash. What did you think about that then, Matt?
I didn't know. When you put me on the spot, I was like, oh no.
I thought I'd give it a bit of a build-up so that you had time to think of what to say to him.
Yeah. But I had actually thought that, naturally. I was just thinking, I wonder if Axl Rose has read it.
Good question. Good if it's an actual authentic question. It was a good interview. He was a nice bloke,
Yeah,
wasn't
he's
he?
totally on the level. The amount of drugs he's done in his life.
I know. I wanted to get round to that, but,
You'd think that it would have some
Sort
long-term
of.
effect, but it doesn't seem to have, so...
Back on the drugs then. There we go. If we've learned anything from our interview with Slash, it's that drugs have no negative side effects. Drugs are bad, don't take drugs. We have got a very special person on the phone. It's a friend of the show, without whom we would all be very much at a loss. It's Noel Gallagher. Hello, Noel, how are you, mate? You all right?
Merry Christmas.
Why coughing? Merry Christmas to you as well. Nice to hear from you. You okay?
No, it's nice to hear from you, not the other way around.
Well, yeah, it is actually, because it's not nice to hear from you, because you're a miserable, curmudgeonly hater.
I'm fine. How are you? You all right? How's Matt? More to the point.
He's all right. He's
I'm
just
all right.
sat moping about. You know when he goes all sulky in teenage? He's a bit like that today. He's in that sort of vibe. What's going on? You can never tell. He's actually drinking. So, I mean, if he is hungover, it's as a result.
I've had one can of cider.
I've had one can of cider. See, Matt is one of them people that when he's drunk, all he goes to is, I can't believe I've drunk 3 bottles of vodka and I'm not drunk. That's all he says to you when he's drunk. I can't believe it. This is what you do when you're drunk.
The week before. It was good fun, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it was good.
When you went to Led Zeppelin?
That's right, yeah. By the way, were you slagging me off in your column in The Sun the other day?
Yeah, I think I might have used my column in The Sun as a mouthpiece to attack you. Why?
There's no need for that, Russ.
Oh, it's just because, remember, when I said I'd met Her Majesty the Queen, which I have done, you goes, hey, what are you doing, sucking up to the establishment?
No. Did I say those words, or did I say I could smell the cheese through the newspaper?
Yeah, well, that's probably your own
I didn't use the word establishment or suck up at all, but you wrote in your little page, little hairdo...
Did you see me? I had a crown on.
Noel Gallagher never said that to you.
Yeah, well, you said something. You sent me a text message that said something like, oh, look at you, I can smell the cheese coming from... Yeah, it was something along those lines, and I said, I seem to remember you.
No, I never. Hey, I watched your programme on Jack Kerouac the other night.
Good, isn't it?
It was quite good.
Hey, what do you mean quite good? Why have you put a qualifying quite in front of the good for?
Well, because the bit where you and Matt stood on the streets and you're kind of going, oh yeah, but there must be something better than this for all these people. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah, the revolution. Yeah, trying to get out to bed. Yeah, the revolution.
Yeah, but it's all quite. I find things that are all quite vague, though. Do you know what I mean? That there must be something like what? I know, like Jack Kerouac went on his mission across America to find the real America, but don't you find that quite vague? What I'm trying to say is I find it quite pointless, but entertaining because Matt was in it.
Listen, never mind condemning our programmes as being vague and pointless. The revolution, I'll polish it up with some policies pretty soon, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm very much the front man of the revolution. Consider what would happen if you allowed Liam to design the ethos of Oasis, what kind of a shambles you'd be in now. I'm very much the person up the front of the revolution. What would Oasis be like?
If Liam designed it.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? It'd be purple, where people would be confused, there would be sporadic and consequential violence.
How's the show going tonight?
Well, this radio show, yeah, it's been good. We're doing it from my house. He's a bit mad, because me and Matt have been wandering around, right, just talking, and you sort of forget that it's a radio show, because it's just me and Matt wandering around my house. No, there's a bloody great big choir, there's a beatboxer, G's here, there's people assisting, my mum's here, yoga teacher, a 9-year-old girl, Fat Roy, or Rotund Roy, as he's been renamed, because he found that hurtful, Big Danny O'Leary, our bit of sexy muscle, tart with a heart tile character,
wow.
2 girls that I met in Selfridges.
You got all those people in your flat?
Yeah, it's not a flat. I've got a nice house, haven't I? It's not a flat.
Well, how many bedrooms has it got?
Well, then I've turned all the bedrooms into dungeons, but it's got 9 dungeons, just to give you some idea of what sort of thing goes on here. Here, listen to this email we've recently received. It's from a person claiming to be called Katie. Hello, Russell, Matt, G, and everyone else in the kitchen. Russell, when is your date with Jerry Halliwell? There's an update for you. Gallagher, get that down your neck.
You've got a date with Jerry Halliwell?
Well, it's on the cards, is what I'm saying. Right. Obviously now it's about to be ruined by you, but it was a possibility until about 5 seconds ago.
What would she do that for?
Well, I think because I find her interesting and sparky,
I'm
and
gonna
she
let you
did
off
because I'm a charismatic torpedo of love, all full of ingenious schemes, like a modern-day William Blake. Got a notion of power and a sort of a emotion lake.
Russell Brand.
Right, we are going to break a Guinness World Record. Other stouts are available. We're going to break a world record here on the show. We've got quite a lot of options.
we're going to attempt to.
No, we're gonna. Yeah, they will be doing our jingle race war. That's why I've brilliantly now making up on the spot this jingle just before the show goes. Get a bit of OG original. I'll be dubbing it live on the mic, yeah?
Amazing.
All right, all on the mic. This is me, Russell Brand, all on the mic. Okay, go on, play it in then.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah, this is my entry for the jingle contest. Tell us what... Oh, not jingle contest, I meant jingle race war. So let us know what you think of my entry to the jingle race war. Original victim! Oh no, Matt M. Original victim! Matt M. Original victim. So brilliant! It's a work of art!
Rubbish.
I've never seen... Look at the people in the gallery! They're overjoyed in there. There's people weeping.
The woman's been sick in a bag.
She's not been sick in her bag. That was a vomiting of sheer naked triumph.
Russell Brand.
Okay, so let's hear my live jingle.
Oh, do we have to do that again?
Just once more. I can do it this time.
Wait.
Right. Matt Morgan, original victim.
So
Matt
fine.
Morgan,
I can do this
original
now.
victim. Go on then!
Ah.
You think you're better than me? Go on, do it then. You think you're better than us?
Right, shut up.
Go on then.
What was it? Matt Morgan, original victim. How's it start? Oh, okay.
Well, right.
You're shouting over it.
It's so easy to judge others. Not so easy.
Right, shut up.
Go on, you having another go?
Yeah.
Go on then. Go on.
Well, shut up.
We can't have dead air. I have to fill the time.
Right,
It's my
stop.
actual job. Right.
Matt Morgan, victim. Matt Morgan, victim.
That was really good, actually. Well done. Round of applause. But, hold on. The spoils are shared because doesn't it show what a brilliant idea it originally was? By me.
Really? When it's originated, couldn't work it. Imagine someone had gone, I've invented the light bulb. It doesn't work, though. But someone will work out how to turn it on one day.
Sometimes I just hold it above my head to demonstrate that it's an idea I've had, although that semiotically wouldn't make sense yet because it doesn't light. But nonetheless, in 20 years or so, me holding this bulb above my head will represent an idea being had.
So here's the telephone. I'll say hello, and then somebody hundreds of miles away, if they imagine they heard me say it, it's sort of how it works.
Okay, right. Now, look, you'll ruin our chances of getting in the Guinness Book of Records with pure cynicism, if I may say so,
Well, I
Matthew.
might get in there for being the most cynical man ever.
Well, all right, but as it's an abstract concept, I don't see how that's ever going to occur.
Russell Brand.
But what is the record for saying to be or not to be, or whatever?
Okay, so it's the fastest talking...
You said that deliberately fast to make me nervous.
Sorry, the fastest talking is 260 words of the speech, and you have to do it in quicker than 23.8 seconds.
260 words in 23.5... That would just sound like garbled rubbish,
That's
unlike
10
the rest of
words
the
a
show,
second.
which is
It's
brilliant.
it's 10 words a second.
10 words a second?
That's impossible.
Oh, it's done. We have to slow
Who's done it?
A guy called Sean Shan, who's listening actually, and is available to demonstrate on the phone if you want to give him a call.
No, I don't want Sean Shan on the show.
Yeah, let's have it.
Sounds too weird. Sean Shan on the show. What if he's in the shower?
So yeah, 23.8 seconds. I have my timer. So do
Right, you time it, but remember, let me win, because it'll be good publicity for your wretched Guinness bookie book. Unlike mine already, selling in their millions. Hundreds of thousands.
Right, come on. Mouth exercises.
All right, let's do some mouth exercises. Get me ready. I always do this
I'm
before
going
I
to be like
attempt the
Rocky's
record.
trainer for you.
Okay, go on then. You're like Mick out of Rocky 1. Go on then.
I actually have never seen Rocky.
Well, he's a bit like this. Okay, kid, you're an Italian tank. You're like...
Okay, kid.
I've not finished
You're
the
an
demo.
Italian tank.
You're like Grease Lightning, kid. Like olives. It's disgusting. He's a bit like
come on.
Popeye.
Well, let's
isn't
just
he?
say that was your vocal warm-up.
Hold on. Swan swam across the sea, swan swam back again, well swan. Peter Pepper. Actually, I said that properly then, and it was so fast, I'm probably
That's
already a
not
record
that
breaker.
different to your normal broadcasting.
Oh, hurtful things to say to someone
Come on,
on the
slow
very
voice.
anniversary.
And I'm 64.
Can I have the record for the most lachrymose insult to the legacy of the Beatles? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Here we go, and here is my record attempt by me,
and I'd like to say I'm dedicating this to everyone everywhere. God bless you, people of Earth. Here we go then. I know we've had some hard times, but god damn it, it's sure as blooming worth it, isn't it, when we lead up to this record-breaking moment in your face. All right, okay, here we go. When do we start, Craig?
I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, and then...
Hold on, that wasn't it, was it?
No.
He said, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1.
Well, I thought that was a threat, like Ted Rogers. Ted Rogers looming over your shoulder with Dusty Bin with his lid off. 3, 2, 1, we all remember that, don't we? Yes. Right, kids? Okay, well, I feel actually genuinely nervous. Oh, bloody hell. It's not easy being a record breaker, I'll tell you that, man.
You're not to be.
Right, okay, here we go then, yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1... Go.
To be or not to be, no, that's the question. No, mind some of those things are outrageous. Fools will take up against the troubles and by opposing end them to die to sleep no more. And sleep, I say, when the high can fasten that structure of flesh, there it is consumption devoutly to be wished to die to sleep, a chance to dream. Hey, there's the rub. From that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we've shuffled off this more core must give us pause. And there's the respect that makes calamity of life so long for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong. The proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the laws delay, the insolence of office and the spurns the patient merit, the unworthy takes when he himself might take it as quite as pain with a bare bodkin. Who would fathers bear to grunt to sweat under a weary life, but the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather than bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of all, and thus the native view of resolution is particularly low with the power cast of thought and enterprise this great picture moment with disregard the currents turn awry and lose the name of action. How much?
Once more with feeling.
That's just me trying my hardest to convey the meaning of Hamlet. What? How fast was that?
That was...
I started at the beginning, I could do better.
You could, that was 40 seconds.
Oh no, sorry, I apologise for not breaking that record. It's hard, isn't it? But I reckon I could shave 10 seconds off it.
Speed. But I've heard, you know, remember when it used to be on Record Breaker?
Yeah, it just sounds like... It's like that, isn't it? Doesn't it make sense when they do it? Right, I think I deserve something for that, don't I?
No.
Perhaps a spell in the Maudsley Mental Hospital to recover from the ordeal. All right, I don't know.
Mind you, it's like running 100 metres in 20 seconds.
So it's quite good.
Which is
that what you're saying?
good.
Fair enough, I tried my hardest. Can't say any fairer than that. Right, now, Matt, eat your bananas then.
I don't want to.
Well, you shouldn't have agreed to it then.
Oh, well, really?
Come on, mate, eat bananas for Christ's sake. When you have
Can I just say, like, bananas come in all different sizes.
That's a good bloody point, Matt. So do words, and so does time.
Bananas in like hot countries.
How do I know my seconds weren't shorter than that other fella, Seamus Sheeny, or whatever his name was? This is a mug off. Sounds like an Irish name. What's Guinness? Irish. I get it. Yeah, I see how this works. Yeah? And what's your name? Craig O'Reilly. Well. And if you look very closely at the Guinness Book of Records, every single record is held by an Irishman. Look at this. Fastest bit of running ever. Jerry Adams. Right. This has been exposed as a sham. Well. Pat Jennings, tallest man ever to have lived. This is a disgrace.
The best bits.
Russell Brand.
You're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. I'm in my actual home in North London. How specific will we be? With me here is because this is unavoidably Christmas time, right? The time of Jesus and whatnot. Yes. So why did you say yes like that? It sounded like you were going to go on a Richard Dawkins style tirade against Christianity as a concept. We've got here the Hot Butter Soul Collective, who can only be described as a choir with a beatboxer featuring line art. That's how we have to say it. Hot Butter Soul Collective featuring Lionheart. You're very much outside of the Hot Butter Soul Collective. As soon as G went, he went, yeah, I'm Lionheart. G went, yeah, I know you. You're the Lionheart. Yeah, I know you from gigs. You're always late. That is our lion. He has the qualities of a lion. He is brave, like the lion. And like lions, he is never punctual. Oh, Simba, you are my son. Where are you? You're supposed to be here, Simba. Oh, Christ.
Joy, joy. Joy to the world, joy, joy, joy to the world, joy, joy, joy.
Right, so why don't we now get bloody Chrissy Hind in here, stick on one of her records, ain't you got no pretenders
but
or
sometimes
thank?
People find that rude, don't they?
What, if you put on one of their records?
Yeah.
Let's look at her face.
Because then they've got to
She said no. Why? Get her in there. Chrissy, come in, love.
Because they've got to sit there all the way through their own song.
So what? That's
might make
sing
them
it.
on edge.
I like listening to my stand-up. I just nod patiently till it ends, thinking this is brilliant, this bit, this is good. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chrissy Hind. Woo! Yeah, Chrissy Hind.
Chrissy, talk in that microphone. Bring it nearer to me if you want, my love. If you want
Normally
proximity,
you have
you're
to be pretty drunk to do this karaoke.
Don't get drunk. Chrissy, I will say that when we met in that vegetarian restaurant, he goes, hey, what shall I bring to the show? And, like, listed out a big load of substances, as if you were some sort of pharmacist.
No,
Didn't
I
you?
did not.
No, you didn't. I just made that up. Now, what bloody hell are you up to, Paul or Peter, whoever the hell you are? Use Matt's mic, crane in, and start explaining yourself. Why were you an hour? This is the karaoke expert.
Hi,
Chrissy.
guys.
Okay.
I'm putting on one of these shows for these two up here. I'm having a good laugh at it as well.
He can't even talk properly. Come back. What are you on about?
Have you ever done karaoke?
I've never done karaoke.
I'm more concerned whether it's going to work or not.
Well, so am I, you bloody charlatan. You're an hour late. What were you doing? Chrissy, have you ever... You've done karaoke?
Oh, yeah. I discovered the beauty of karaoke in Antwerp.
Oh, really? Why? What happened in Antwerp?
Well, I knew
Just
I would
did
know
karaoke.
anyone there for a start.
Right,
But
so...
the thing with karaoke is no one pays attention to you.
Yeah, no one's
You could
listening.
be Al Green or Martha Reeves, anyone you want, and everyone else is, just...
Well, I don't think that's the case. People focus, don't they, on karaoke?
No.
They just ignore it?
No, absolutely ignore it. You can do anything you want.
Well, not on bloody Radio 2, you can't. We've got to concentrate.
Let's find out.
Boys are blue.
Boys
Okay,
are
you
blue,
go
women are
first.
pink. Okay.
Come on.
Baby... Hold on, no,
Go,
that's
go,
the...
go.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
We'll change. Now.
Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown.
Ouch.
Flat.
I set out to get you with a
You are
fine
rough.
tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on.
Ooh.
You're bloody Chrissy Irons. Tell us a joke. Go on.
But you don't know something to me I can't explain.
Oh, you are quite good.
Hold me closer and feel no pain. Am I supposed to be Dolly Parton? She sings
Do
right.
you bloody well? You're Chrissy Irons.
We got something going on. Tender love is blinded across the
That's not lit
dedication.
up yet. Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love we feel needs no conversation. We ride it together. Aha. Making love with each other. Aha. She's looking at me. Islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Get more excited.
Away with me to another world, and we rely on each other.
From one lover to another. Right, this bit's you. Look.
Oh, I could
Right, go on, Chrissy.
live without you if the love was gonna. Everything is nothing if you got no one. And you did walk in that night, you're slowly losing sight of the real thing.
I'm glad we didn't do this in front of Elton John, but that won't happen to us. I don't know this bit of the song. It's difficult because this has got a complex song.
And we got no way out. It's you.
Well, I don't know that bit of the record. It's real thing. I mean, like, I don't remember that being in the song.
No more will you cry, baby, I will hurt you never. I'm making up the melody. And we start and end as I in love forever. Go.
Ride it together. Ah, making love with each other. Islands in the stream. That is what we are.
Wait for the thing to come up.
No one in between.
How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. I'm trying to find a harmony, but you can't find in my part.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Chrissy. Guess what? I ain't in the Pretenders.
Sail away.
I ain't been in a band before. Also, this ain't how I remember Islands of the Stream.
Your part.
Okay. Well, this bit I think is too high.
Okay.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. Aha. From one lover to another. Aha. Right, so I think
What's happening?
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong?
We could get a deal doing
Sail away with me
I needed
to another world, and we rely on
each other.
Bloody good job we don't have to rely on each other, Chrissy. We'd be in an awful lot of financial trouble. From one love.
I think you can cover me at this point.
Right, there we go. There we go, Islands in the Stream. I think that has sailed by pretty seamlessly. That was well, Chrissy, give us a kiss.
That was beautiful. Rubbish.
Yeah, well, it's not my bleeding job. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a bloody singer.
You asked me on a show
Yeah.
and humiliate me, and I should be ashamed
Listen,
of
I think
myself.
you were absolutely fantastic. To tell you the truth, perhaps that's the sort of thing that would have benefited from a rehearsal. But let me tell you, Chrissy, you were absolutely
I
magnificent.
don't think we could have done it any better.
Nor do I, and I don't think we
Having
should
heard you
aspire
sing
to.
tonight.
Hey, listen, have you not heard my hit single When I'm 64? Because I think it would blow your mind. Have a little listen to this. Have you got it, Matthew?
It's not in there at the moment.
Well, I'm capable of greatness. Anyone will tell you that who's heard my Sgt. Pepper cover
Or
when
who's
I'm
listened
64.
to your show.
Well, they might dispute that quite fervidly. But anyway, for God's sake, karaoke, you told me that it's
you're
all in the
both
spirit of fun. Right?
That's brilliant.
Yeah, come on, why is there an inquest?
Why's the band splitting up?
Hey, come on! I remember when it used to be about the
let's
music,
do it.
Chrissy.
Let's try
This
another
band's
one.
falling
Let's
apart.
try another
I ain't
one.
doing no more bleeding karaoke. It's hard work. I don't like
It's nice
doing
coming
things-
down here on my evening off.
Look, we can have a chat and stuff. You do bloody singing, I'll do jokes. It seems to be a perfect relationship, right?
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
You're listening to the best of Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2.
Time now for the poet laureate of the show, Mr. G, to summarise the entire show with a brilliant poem. Well, yeah, Mr.
Woo,
G.
yeah.
Atmosphere. 4 more years.
Okay.
Sitting down now, that's weird.
Whoa.
In the slash seat.
In the slash seat.
Get out of that
I call it that because I had a slash on it a minute ago. The slash actually stood up.
Okay, the poem. An expressional prose just letting you know like a pin injection for those who incidentally chose to join us each Saturday. Urine extraction is the practice players. Russ and Mac chat away. An itchy jumper can get you sacked today. So actually, what's the cost of being fobbed off? Reporters tossed off, doors locked off. This is Randy Morgan calling Bosch off with a banana hoodie phone blocked off. Rock God Slash fears an attack of the little imps while Cockrell and Nash demand less noise as they reach the actual brink. Just stop and think. All this raw protocol is evidently confusing. Apparently the Queen heard the Bowie Slash phone call and found it extremely amusing.
Woohoo! There it is, Mr. G, all on the mic, even though it's a pre-record. There were no errors. Good work there, G. Well, what a fantastic show it's been, yeah? What a fantastic show it's been. Matt, you've been lovely. You've really contributed today.
Yes.
And look at us in our jumpers.
I know.
You wearing itchy, I'm wearing cashmere. We're a couple of guys.
There's a metaphor there, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you don't seem to be bothered by the itchiness.
No, it's almost like I'm an adult.
I don't know what it is. You do worry, however, that your soul might have been stolen by the Slash picture.
Can I just say
Your
that you've got a
bonkers
little,
beliefs.
a little bag hanging off your jumper with spare buttons and stuff in it? I don't know if that's a look you're going for.
I think I can bust that look. I think I can. Hey, Graham, one of our favourite engineers. Lots of love to
you'll
him
make
in the
that
window.
engineer jealous.
Trevor, I love you as well. Why don't the two of you get off with each other? And our new item, gay engineers. Okay, it's been a fantastic show. Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you, Slash. James, well done for finally getting
Thank you, Slash.
tolerable jumper. Thank you, Slash. Thank you, Slash. Why don't you do your brownie
Can I
dance
plug
that your
some at
sisters...
first?
Shut up! Why don't you do your brownie dance that the sisters used to do, where they go, thank you, well done, clapping their hands
Well
under their
done, well
legs.
done, well done then. Thank you, actually.
Why don't you do that to Slash?
I will.
Yeah, do it, get it done.
Russell Brand.
You're listening to Russell Brand's Best Bits on BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.